Oh yeah. I'm going on a trip with my dog and my cat. We're going to town and brought my unicycle. Wee. It's not a build for damage or anything, it's a build for wee. It's important to cancel the wee before it does the ground stuff. That kind of stops it in your tracks. So you gotta roll the slam. Yeah. This is a fast way of getting around, but it is a way. I sure hope the infested like my unicycle. Oh, look, the techrot I get. Aye, chairs, tables. I'm not even really doing anything. I sure hope pet kills count towards the 500 kills that I'm supposed to be doing. Oh no, it became a scary. Sorry. Kill it. Oh, there we go. Now that my pets attack, they actually do die. So of course I'm looking forward to the Kuva Ghoul Saw. I was kind of hoping that they'd do a Kuva Ghoul Star too, but well, Kuva Ghoul Saw is pretty neat. So that's something. I hope the stats are decent enough to make it worth using at all, because as is the Ghoul Saw is only really good for Wii, and that's actually not all that much. It doesn't really... I don't see a counter that tells me how many kills my pets get, which is mean. So the build is the old, usual, that you'll know and love if you've done this nonsense before. It's the mod that makes enemies killed by pets spread the status effects they had when they died with enemies, which causes a wave of death and destruction. Now my dog has a ball that bounces around and gives enemies like a dozen different status effects. Maybe not a dozen, but a lot of them. And meanwhile, my cat gives enemies slash and heat status, which deals a lot of damage. So I've got two critters running around hitting enemies. The cat obviously doesn't spread as many status effects as often because she doesn't have the ball of food. But when she hits an enemy, slash very well. I wonder if my videos could be improved if I add like a PNG of something that moves really tall. That'd be great. Well, VTuber is also a great option, but I don't have a camera pointing at my face because I don't have a camera in the first place. But I don't want a camera pointing at me. I don't like camera receipt in general. So I was supposed to get 500 kills? What was that gonna take? I do not like this season. Jade Exum is not a mechanic I'm fond of. I assume they added the Jade Egg just because of the overabundance of people doing some sort of AFK farm that involves Wukong and the Tenet Envoy for some reason, and Baku Core, of course, or Ashishor? I'm just gonna call it Baku Core. It's easy to say. It's a weapon. So they're using their funny weapons and just sort of stand around and let the clone guy get all the kills, and I mean that's cool and all. I do like some of that semi-passive gameplay of having all my pets kill all of the enemies for me. I am a casual Caliban enthusiast and everything, but just sort of standing around AFK while everything is being very all the time. I don't know. It's kind of against the spirit of the game, but I'm gonna. I'm just not too fond when game design decisions are made to deal with a specific subcategory of players, and those decisions end up affecting everyone, even the people that are not just standing around AFK while enemies explode. Generally, DE seems very upset when you do not move. If you do not move in this game, they send you straight to hell. You get called by the Lotus, and you get no rewards, and generally you get to die. Now, something that's been on my mind, just as a general idea, just a thought, was what it would be like if there was a bot, not like a flanker, algorithm piece of it, but like a more conventional bot that plays Warframe. Like if you made an account, a new account, and you set it to solo queue, and the bot is more capable than, say, your average Spectre in terms of mission quickly. I'm pretty sure that would be against TOS, even if you sit there babysitting the bot all the time. I suppose that would be an interesting way of playing the game. If for some reason my arms fell off, I would appreciate being able to play Warframe, even if I'm mostly just sitting here staring at the funny computers playing the game. Not that I would expect it to do a particularly good job, but it's not like I'm doing all that much right now. Pretty sure even a conventional bot from a mid-2000s game, Unreal Tournament 2004 or whatever, something of that caliber, would be more than capable of walk away from the dangers, the green orb, sick the cat on the big bad, and try and collect things. But I'm also the kind of person that opens Age of Empires lobbies for a single-player skirmish game, fills every slot with bots, and then I just spectate them duking it out. So, very exciting, I know. Zanima would have been way better if they had a game like that. That isn't just arena mode for them to spend hours making a guy that's good at things and then they die and then, oh well. I do have a Acuity Shakur, just, I'm not really sure what for, but I decided to bring it because my melee weapon and secondary weapon aren't that great at dealing damage. I mean, they can deal damage, but it's not substantial damage. Though, of course, worst comes to worst, I summon this thing that I am too embarrassed to describe. Shoot the enemies with my sick beam. Pretty sure a bot could also just do this. The question is, how would you integrate a bot like that? Assuming that DE isn't involved in the bot, because I mean, they're kind of making a semi-automatic game thing for whatchamacallit, a phone. I imagine that they might be, to some extent, probably kind of good with that sort of thing, depending on the circumstances. But, yeah, if I made a thing, I can't make a thing, but if someone made a thing, whereas there's a bot and plays it for funny Warframe, he runs around, shoots things. I mean, I would probably not want the bot account to be tied to equal accounts. Like, no trading with human players, because that would be good. Oh no, I died of death. That's so sad. Like, okay, Power on Strike, not that great, but having a handful of mods is kind of cool. The slide! Whee! Out of my way. Whee! Out of the slide! What the? Get off of the slide! I just want to slide. Well, a bot probably wouldn't go wee on the slide. Bots, I mean, a fully functional bot wouldn't really care about wee. Though I guess if you made the bot play Lara and you taught it to use the real soft and fast traverse during Prowl, I guess it would do this, but anyway, how would the bot? I imagine if you had the bot just sort of read what is on screen, and then give input depending on what it finds on the screen, that would be a huge resource sink. I can't imagine that would run very well. But if you try and sort of hide into the game, so you can use the path finding stuff, and I don't think you could really do that, could you? Not if you're not DE anyway. I mean, you could maybe hook into the game, but that's one way to get deleted from Warframe forever. Having a bot that plays Warframe for me for no particular reason is just weird. Besides that, something I thought might be cool for solo playing was specters for solo mode, free specters. So one day, probably, Warframe is gonna bite the dust. Nothing is around forever, and assuming it's not the collapse of society that's going to bring forth the end of Warframe, people are probably going to want to and be able to play Warframe still. And even without all that happening, I imagine there's people who just don't have the opportunity or intention to play with other people, but would appreciate having other Warframes around to hang out. As is, the Spectres... You can only have, I think, one Spectre at a time? Or was it one Spectre of every category? Well, you do still need to farm and build them, which is not optimal, and they don't use your mods, which I think is a noticeable drawback. Now, considering how effective the on-call crew is, it's maybe not the best idea to give every player in solo mode the option to just summon up three guys who just use your mods and your Warframes and then mess everything up where you just sort of stand there. It'd be Wukong 2.0, really. Those specters were just kind of, if you had a crew of specters you can call in solo mode, like I don't know, AI wingman, whatever. That'd be neat. If I call a specter right now, it costs me one consumable vapor specter, and I get, oh yeah, I get a citrine. And her level is tied to the level of the currently present enemies. She does not scale, so if I stayed here for a while, she wouldn't get any stronger or anything. And she uses an unmodded gun, I think, that's also like tied to levels, so I mean, if this wasn't a survival mission, having a summon that just sort of sticks to one level would probably be fine. That's the upside with the on-call crew, since they use player weapons, and player weapons can be completely broken. That's not too much of a concern, though at some point the enemy is going to deal so much damage that the crew is just going to die in one hit, and they're not really going to be able to use the funny weapon that they got. As for Warframe specters, I do like having more companions around. It's a playstyle I am fond of, but also it's limited in the. I just don't like using consumables. It's that simple. Like if the mission went on for a while, my citrine inspector, of course, with the scale of the energy level, then she would eventually just be murked, and I'd sunk a new one. But eventually I'd run out of specters, and then I'd just play the rest of it or something. To be fair, it's not the most obnoxious thing to ask a player to do, but I like to get back in friends. And other players are, I mean, playing with friends is the most fun thing you can really do, but when do you get friends to play Warframe with you? No, it's having little computer companions is pretty cool. Even if they don't end up doing all that much. I mean, my cat and my robot dog are completely busted, which is why they are really able to just carry and play this mission for me. Though I suspect the objective thingy that says kill 500 enemies doesn't really count companion pet kills for some reason. It's one of the reasons, oh yeah, there it is. Kill 140 enemies, but I've got 560 kills, but most of those are for my pets, so they don't really count. That's one of the reasons why I stopped playing 99. It didn't enable my funny pet playstyles. Of course, I don't only play funny pet characters, I also play Valkyr, but it's mostly just running around as pseudo god mode and shooting and hitting things to death. As you do. Fortunately, this game is usually, most of the time, not particularly difficult, so. Then again, I'm at a stage of the game where the game is really difficult as I want to make it. Like, I didn't need to bring this saw thing that deals practically no damage, but it's go whee! I could have brought my Magistar, which can deal 1,000,000 damage per hit or whatever. That'd be cool, but I don't have to do that. I could bring an unmodded Warframe and go, oh no, I'm under-equipped. And just sort of challenge myself. I'm not too fond of big challenge things. I think being alive is challenging enough for me, at least. Imagine someone sitting here listening to me yap. Can't imagine it. Yes, die. Oh, those green things! I don't like them. Stop hitting me with your green beam. I don't want it. Anyway, I don't really feel like sticking around for so long that I eventually get 500 kills myself. Oh yeah, 47 million damage. It's delicious. 31 million. That's good. The acuity check core doesn't have its downsides, like asking me to aim, but it does reward me with beautiful numbers. Otherwise, there's the chicken. Almost 50 million. 60 million! There is the funny Chakur that uses that mod that on impact gives enemies slash status effects. And because this thing has the guaranteed impact on hit and guaranteed impact on AoE, it's a good way of getting slash points all around. That one doesn't have quite as much damage per hit as the though, obviously. The acuity Chakur comes with its own. Yeah, with its own fight. And you can add deadheads for more headshot multiplier damage, but the Chakur, I think by default, already has the damage multiplier on headshots. I think that's something a bot could be pretty good at, just hitting headshots all the time. Though with projectile weapons that might be a bit more tricky, though not impossible. It kind of depends on if you have the bot actually be hooked into the game and then do in-game stuff, or if it's just like the thing that makes false inputs automatically, like really messed up auto hotkey script, and sort of tries to read the screen. I imagine that would run like terrible bad, and it wouldn't really be efficient or effective at all. Also, is aimbot against TOS? I assume so, but I mean, what's the point? I'm not really aiming to kill these most of the time. I guess it's a matter of principle, which, you know, fair. External programs to cheat and all that. Though I don't really think it, for most of the game, would make all too much of a difference. Like, if there was someone with an aimbot in my PvE Warframe lobby, I would probably just be confused. But I'm not gonna, like, let you care. You could be playing Misa, though Misa doesn't get the automatic headshots. She's kind of, you know, for a gunslinger, she isn't actually that good. She doesn't hit headshots all the time. She, in her high noon mode, only gets body shots, I think. Oh no, there's so many of the techrot. Oh no, I'm falling into the hole. I don't want to be in the hole. Oh no, no, don't let me go. Oh, the hole, no! Ah, escaped the hole. Good. Okay, so, shoot this thing in its very small face. Stop! Okay. This thing in its very small face. This thing in its very small face. Got the minute, there we go. Having the one weapon equipped that can delete anything in one hit is pretty good. Makes life a little easier. Makes the mission feel a lot more under control. If I don't feel like using my gimmicks or my support weapons, I can hit them with the sticky hand and they're gone. Already, there we go. I really don't feel like killing 500 enemies or whatever by myself. Like, for some reason, Warframes like Gyre, I assume, their ability kills count, even though Gyre doesn't really have to do much of anything to get ability kills. He just walks around and enemies nearby take damage. Because if Walled on Fire was hit again. But her kills count, while me walking around babysitting, well not babysitting, they're pretty fine by themselves, but just sort of existing alongside my cool pets doesn't count. And you know, Gyre, if I activate her 3 and 4, and I have 78 juice. If I have her 3 and 4 enabled, and that one augment that makes the 4 not run out when you keep getting kills, you even cast fewer times than you would with Caliban, for example, who needs to constantly re-summon his pets. Like, objectively, Summoner Caliban is a more active playstyle than Gyre. Yet, for some reason, Gyre she gets the kills canon, and Caliban does not. I can only assume that's an intentional design choice, since they had more than enough time to adjust that if it was not. I mean, they specifically added an arcane that's supposed to be beneficial for summoner characters, and an aura for specifically those types. So you'd think summoners would get more love than 99, but no. Our kills aren't real kills. We didn't get them. Our cats did. Does that mean my cat gets the or my robot dog gets the 99 reward? No, they don't get anything. I'm gonna have to hug them myself and tell them it's okay. Their kills matter to me. Even if they happen in a time loop, meaning they don't really matter to the world as a whole. Oh wow, 250. Great. Okay, this is taking long enough. I'm out of here. Oh yeah, my citrine is still alive. That's great. Glad that hello. What do you got? Where's Siam? There's both of them? Oh yeah, because I'm shoving on her. I would have maybe put the Tenet Blings, but for some reason Tenet weapons, I think they don't get their inherent damage bonus if you put them on the Spectre for some reason, so that's not too compelling. At least the Tenet Blings is infinite ammo, but still. Now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure Spectres have infinite ammo, or do they not? No, do they or don't they? That's the question. I'm pretty sure a Kenjineer video about that exists, so I should probably just check that. But yeah, that's the video. That's the end. And I didn't even get 500 kills technically. I mean, I totally did. If you check this stats, there we go. Total kills 827, but only 250 of them count, because that's the nice pop in. Because that's just how things go on this bad of a system. Very well, viewer. Bye.